A shooting that involved NMSP and U.S. Marshals occurred in Deming.
Wind and possible tornadoes? Stay tuned.
And Blackwater Draw has some new updates. All that and more right now.
News 3 New Mexico, your local source for news, sports, and first weather.
Welcome back to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Erica Cook.
And I'm Alyssa Munoz. Thank you so much for watching.
On April 16th at around 7:30 p.m., the Clovis Police Department received a call from Mr. Bud's dispensary. There were two individuals who had just robbed the store at gunpoint and then fled on foot. When officers responded, they were not able to locate the suspects. However, during the investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through the use of a license plate reader. On the 20th, the Detectives Division received info from a Clovis resident about a possible homicide in Salt Lake City that was linked to the suspects in the robbery case. Through a joint effort, the suspects were both able to be identified as 23-year-old Carlos Chi and 21-year-old Chino Aguilar. Arrest warrants for both Chi and Aguilar have been filed here in Clovis, in addition to the arrest warrants obtained in Utah. If you have any information related to this incident, please contact the non-emergency line at 575-769-1921.
Around 11 a.m., the New Mexico State Police Department posted on Facebook asking people in Deming, New Mexico, to avoid the 200 block of Cedar Street. This comes about after an apartment officer-involved shooting in the area involving U.S. Marshal Services. No other details have been released as of now, but the NMSP have stated that more info will be provided as it becomes available. A Las Cruces middle school teacher and coach has been arrested, accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a 14-year-old student. 43-year-old Wyatt Cornelius is being charged with fourth-degree felony counts of child solicitation by an electronic device and contributing to delinquency of a minor, and one third-degree felony count of criminal sexual contact of a minor. Cornelius allegedly had multiple inappropriate conversations on, as well as touching the girl's buttocks and legs in class and during sporting events. Las Cruces police arrested Cornelius on Wednesday, and he will initially be held without bond at the Donna Ana County Detention Center.
A 10-month-old dog in Curry County tested positive for rabies, the second dog in the state to do so in the past 10 months. The dog has been euthanized after displaying aggressive behavior as well as neurological signs and biting a person. That person, as well as 5 other individuals who were exposed but not bitten, are all receiving the post-rabies exposure vaccine. In New Mexico, rabies is most often found in wildlife such as skunks, bats, and foxes. The state confirmed 13 rabid animals in 2025 and 12 in 2024. While bats are the animals most commonly found with rabies in New Mexico, all mammals are susceptible. Household pets can contract rabies from wildlife even if they stay in a fenced yard. While rabid wild animals may show no fear of people and may be aggressive, they can also be quiet and appear tame. If you see a sick animal or a wild animal acting abnormally, report it to your local animal control officer or the New Mexico Department of Wildlife at 888-248-6866. So Caitlin, you got a fun fact for us today?
I do. With all this heat coming in, I have a fun fact about heat in the Eiffel Tower. Do you want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Did you know that between May and September, due to the heat in Paris, the Eiffel Tower grows 6 inches?
Wow.
Yeah, it expands 6 inches because of the metal.
Wow.
That's cool. So I guess people who go get to see it taller and some people get to see it smaller.
I do a little bit, but yeah, jumping into that heat though, we're looking at some red flag warnings this week. As we jump into summer weather, as we can tell, all of this pink here is our red flag warnings. Taking a closer look at home, as we can tell, we got plenty of red flag warnings. We also have some wind warnings. We're going to expand this map a little bit. Here's also a red flag watch. So same thing, just a little bit different. And then we still have some wind warnings. Here is this bright mustard yellow. This bright neon yellow, though, on this side is a tornado warning. It goes all the way up. It's Tornado Alley. That's kind of what we're looking at there with those storms. Taking a quick peek at our drought map, we're looking at everything being pretty abnormal to pretty extreme for drought season here. So hopefully with the storms coming in and our summer weather, that'll start to progress and we'll start to get out of that drought soon. But that's all I have for you right now. We'll be back at the desk right now.
Thank you, Kat. Blackwater Draw National Historic Landmark and Museum saw exciting changes and an annual event. Here's News 3's Samantha Stressman with more.
On April 18, 2026, Blackwater Draw National Historic Landmark and Museum had the grand reopening of its new and improved visitor center. The center now features new and improved displays and a brand new children's corner. In addition to the reopening, Blackwater Draw had its annual Hands-on History event featuring booths from ENMU's own Blackwater Draw Museum, the Roosevelt County Historic Museum, Runnels Art Gallery, Department of Anthropology and Applied Archaeology, the Golden Library, the Mu Alpha Nu Anthropology Club, and outside groups including the Bosque Redondo Memorial, Tommy Heflin, and Blackwater Draw craftsmen. Visitors got to participate in a number of activities, including flint knapping, leatherworking, pinch pot making, button making, creating sonic screwdrivers, coloring, sun prints, artifact handling, a director's tour, and the ever-popular atlatl throwing. The Blackwater Draw site is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., so make sure to stop by and see thousands of years of history. This has been Samantha Stressman with News 3 New Mexico.
Coming up after the break, Caitlin will have her full weather report.
But first, let's look at today's financial market.
I'm Caitlin Cook, and let's take a jump in today's weather. Like I was saying earlier, we have a lot of red flag warnings and a lot of red flag watches. We also have this really beautiful storm going up this part of the United States, but it's also causing a lot of severe weather and some possible tornado watches and warnings through this area. It's what we like to call Tornado Alley. It comes all the way down to us, but luckily we are not going to have to worry about any tornadoes anytime soon, hopefully. Jumping back into home, this is currently a red flag watch, and then we have some severe winds here in this mustard yellow kind of area. But nothing too much to worry about. We don't have any fires or anything. For precipitation, as we can tell, we got a little bit down here scattered, and it goes up through Texas, up in Oklahoma, where we were seeing that tornado weather, but we shouldn't get a lot of moisture. Taking a closer look at home, we have these beautiful winds coming in. We're going to start off with the 10 mile an hour and then jump up into 30, 40 miles an hour later on through the evening, and going into tomorrow, it'll start to kind of calm down, hopefully. Our current temperatures, up in the higher part of New Mexico, we're up in the 60s, so Farmington 64, in Gallup is 63, so nice cool spring temperatures. Down here at home, however, we're looking up at the 80s. We're pretty summer temperatures, so we're going to be 79 Clovis, 80 in Portales, 83 in Roswell, 88 in Hobbs, Midland up down there at 91. We're feeling those summer temperatures. I'm excited for it. Taking a little bit closer, as you can tell, we're all pretty red and orange here. I'm excited for summer. Looking at tonight's lows, Farmington's getting down to 44 and Gallup to 40. Santa Fe is 43 and Albuquerque's 52. So they're gonna be nice and cool, probably want a coat there. Coming back down to home, we're gonna be in the 50s as well, with Clovis at 50 and Portales at 53, Lubbock at 55, Our Amarillo is going to be at 54, so we're probably also going to want a coat tonight. Might be nice and cool. Tomorrow's highs. Farmington's getting a little warmer tomorrow. It's going to be 71 tomorrow. Gallup's going to be 68, and Santa Fe is going to be in the 70s, and Albuquerque's going to be there at 76. They're going to be pretty warm down there. Up there, my bad. Pretty warm up there. Down here, though, we're going to be pretty warm. It's going to be 84 in Portales, 82 in Clovis, 87 in Lubbock. So we're getting closer to the 90s. So hopefully we'll get summer temperatures soon. Looking at tomorrow night's lows, we are going to be in the 40s in Farmington, 35 in Gallup. They're going to be pretty close to freezing tomorrow. Taking a closer look at home, we're going to be in the 50s as well. But let's take a look at the 7-day forecast here. So we can tell in Roswell, we're going to be in the 80s this week, jumping into the 90s on Sunday, dropping back down into the 80s with some possible scattered storms on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tucumcari, we're going to be in the 80s. It looks like we're going to stay there all week, except for Wednesday, where we're going to drop into the 79, and then the evenings are going to stay in the 50s roughly. Carlsbad's going to be in the 90s all week, except for Wednesday, where they're going to be 89 with partially cloudy. And for Portales, we're going to be in the 80s all week, except for Thursday, where we're going to be 70s, and the evenings are all going to be 50s, drop down to the 40s, and come back up into the 50s. So it's going to be nice spring to summer-like temperatures right before all of us get out for school.
I love this period in weather where it's not so hot that it's unbearable, but it's also not time for my winter coat.
Yeah, it's really nice and refreshing. I really like it.
It is. I'm sure it's gonna get up into the hundreds like it usually does during the summer, though. That's what I'm not ready for.
Oh, absolutely not. But I mean, my tan does come, so I like to tan.
Yeah. Oh, I want to be golden again. I miss it.
Yeah, I miss it too. Yeah,
my hair also gets all like nice and gold, so.
Yeah, really excited for those summer temperatures.
Yeah, but don't go anywhere because we have more news after this short break.
Welcome back, my fellow sports enjoyers. I'm your host, Fernando Valderrama, and let's hop right into your daily sports breakdown. Starting at the hot corner, the ENMU baseball team was home this past weekend for a 4-game series against Angelo State. The Hounds unfortunately got swept, losing all 4 games. They lost Game 1 in an absolute shootout, 26-17, then got blown out in Game 2 with a score of 20-2. For Game 3, they also got rocked, losing 19-4, and lastly for Game 4, they lost in a closer game with the final score being 9-4. With these 4 losses this past weekend, the Hounds dropped to a 15-31 record on the year with a current losing streak of 7 games. The Hounds will now pack up and hit the road for their final series of the year down in Texas against Texas A&M International in a 4-game series starting tomorrow. The Hounds play Game 1 on Friday, Games 2 and 3 on Saturday, and finish their season with Game 4 on Sunday. Will the Hounds get back on track and finish the season with some wins, or will their losing streak stay with them till the end? Staying on the diamond, let's check up on one of our local baseball teams, more specifically, the Albuquerque Isotopes. The Topes are doing pretty good so far in the season. They are currently 13-9 right now, and that record is good for second place in the Pacific Coast League East, putting them right behind the Sugarland Space Cowboys. Some of the Isotopes' top players for this season have been outfielder Cole Carrick, who's batting .301 on the year with 1 home run, 11 RBIs, as well as 11 stolen bases. Outfielder Sterling Thompson, who's hitting .296 on the year with 21 total hits and 11 RBIs. And lastly, first baseman Charlie Condon, who has a .328 batting average to go along with 4 home runs and 13 RBIs so far. The Isotopes are currently on the road right now in Sacramento, which is where they'll be for the rest of the week before returning home for a homestand starting next Tuesday. And for that Tuesday game against the El Paso Chihuahuas, it'll be Dollar Dog Night. So if you're in the Albuquerque area, go out to the game and scarf down some dogs. Let's hope our Isotopes stay as hot as they are right now and keep mashing that baseball. Now making our way to the draft board, today is the official NFL draft. Every year, teams look to the draft to hopefully help turn their franchise around and get them back in competition with the rest of the teams in their division. I'm personally looking forward to today's draft as my Las Vegas Raiders have the #1 overall pick in the draft. The rest of the lineup for the top 10 picks go as followed. The Jets have the 2nd overall pick. Picks 3 through 5 go to the Cardinals, Titans, and Giants, and picks 6 through 10 go to the Browns, Commanders, Saints, Chiefs, and the Giants once again. Top prospects in this year's draft feature Heisman winner QB Fernando Mendoza, edge rusher David Bailey, linebacker/edge rusher Arvell Reese, and Heisman runner-up running back Jeremiah Love. This year's class is loaded with defensive talent, so look to see a lot of first-round picks be used on defensive players. The draft starts here very soon at 6 p.m. and is happening down in the Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I pray my Raiders don't mess up this pick like we usually do and take Fernando Mendoza, who is destined to bring the Raiders back to glory. For our last sports story of the day, I want to do something new that we haven't done this semester. Today, April 23rd, has a lot of rich sports history tied to it, so let's go over what has happened today in sports history. Getting started off in 1914, historic Wrigley Field opened up and held its first Major League Baseball game, where the Federals beat Kansas City 9-1. In 1954, Hank Aaron hit his first Major League home run for the then Milwaukee Braves and got started on his journey to become the MLB home run leader, which stood until Barry Bonds took that title in 2007. In 1964, Ken Johnson, pitcher for the Houston Astros, threw the first no-hitter for a loss. The game was lost 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds due to 2 errors. And lastly, in sports history for today, in 1989, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played his last regular season game in the NBA. Well, my fellow sports enjoyers, that's all the sports talk I have for you today. But don't go anywhere, as after this break, we have more exciting news just for you.
Welcome back. The Tusa's fire burning in San Miguel County is forcing residents in the area to evacuate. The fire near New Mexico 266 mile marker 2.5 west of Sapillo is threatening structures. As of 10 p.m. Wednesday, the fire is moving north and east from Las Tusas toward Highway 94. The current evacuation orders are for residents on NM 266 between mile markers 3 and 6 to evacuate immediately. Residents in NM 266 from mile marker 4 to NM 94 and NM 94 to A4A to be prepared to evacuate. Residents along County Road A4A and NM 266 remains closed from NM 94 to County Road A3. The fire has burned 150 acres per the National Interagency Fire Center. The fire is 0% contained. Multiple agencies were responding to the fire, including multiple volunteer fire departments from San Miguel County, multiple Type 6 engines, and Carson Hotshot hand crew, and 2 hand crews from Forestry Division.
The city of Carlsbad has recently revealed their newest mural installment, at the local racquetball courts. The piece was done by Audrey DeBeckler from Midland, Texas, a muralist from Midland, Texas, who was able to bring a stunning vision to depict how beautiful southern New Mexico is. The mural is full of vibrant colors featuring a coyote howling in front of a sunrise. The scene includes scenery and native plants of New Mexico, but most importantly, the Carlsbad Caverns, something that the city holds near and dear to their hearts. But that's not all Carlsbad has waiting for their citizens. They will have Audrey back for another project coming soon in the fall. The Roosevelt County Historical Museum has been freshly renovated and invites all to their grand opening. Established in 1940, the museum showcases the history of the Portales area, informing tourists of the history of the town and, of course, Eastern New Mexico University. The event is Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and will have treats that are first come, first serve, so make sure to stop by early. For more information, you can contact the museum at 575-562-2592.
Coming up after the break, we see who the pet of the day is.
And take a look at today's Take a Look at This, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. Cameras capture a small plane clipping a high-voltage power pole, sending sparks flying from damaged lines.
And a moose finds a resting spot that has his name written all over it. All in today's Take a Look at This.
Shocking video shows the moment a small plane collided with a high-voltage pole before crashing into a Los Angeles area parking lot. The video from the Pacoima incident shows a flash of sparks as the plane snaps the high-tension power pole. Debris and more sparks fly as the plane crashes down to the ground. Officials say the pilot, a 70-year-old man, was the only one on board and was found outside the plane but conscious. According to the San Fernando Valley Sun, he was taken to a hospital in critical condition but is recovering. A local airport said the plane was rented by the pilot, but the cause of the crash is currently unknown. Another small plane came down in another busy area in Arizona, although this one landed without incident, albeit on a city street in Mesa. According to KPNX, no injuries were reported after an apparent mechanical failure forced a student pilot and instructor on the small plane to make the emergency landing. All in all, responders say the plane coming to rest safely on the roadway was a happy ending to a potentially disastrous scenario.
There's no damage to the airplane, no damage to the 2 souls on board. Quite a great day with a safe outcome.
Finally, speaking of coming to rest, that's exactly what a big old moose was spotted doing in Bozeman, Montana. Now, normally seeing a moose in Montana would be no big whoop, but according to a Facebook post, the big galloping galoot just so happened to choose to chillax right outside a local radio station named, wait for it, The Moose. I guess the big guy figured this shady spot had his name written all over it. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Today's pet of the day is Ellie, the 4-year-old corgi. Some of Ellie's favorite things to do are sunbathe, bully her brother Anubis, and make anyone who comes over to her house pet her.
If you would like to see your pet on News 3 New Mexico, email us a picture of them as well as their name, age, and something you love about them to news3nm@enmu.edu.
So today we have something special. We don't have a final weather update, but what we do have is a final sports update. Fernando.
Wow. So, with the NFL draft happening here in 30 minutes at 6 o'clock, do either of you have favorite NFL teams?
I do, but it's a bit embarrassing to admit.
What are they?
So, right before it became not socially acceptable, I really did like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
I know. And before I knew a thing about football, I was really into the Denver Broncos.
It just gets worse. What about you, Alyssa?
Honestly, I'm really not too into football. I will say growing up, my family is a Raiders family. We'll
You know
say
what?
that.
Let's go for the family.
But I think, if I had to pick my own team, I would say the Ravens. Purely
Okay.
for the fact, the color scheme is so sleek, as well as, the mascot itself.
I really like the
So
Ravens
cute.
colors. I love the color purple, and they got a nice, rich, dark royal purple, so it's really nice.
It's really pretty to see.
Well, with the draft, do y'all know anything about the draft coming up?
We did? Can you give us a quick update on that?
Well, Fernando Mendoza should be going first overall, which is the Indiana Hoosiers QB who just finished his senior season at Indiana, won the Heisman, then won the national championship, had the dream season. So that was pretty cool.
Absolutely. And
Wow.
that was a quick, fast sports update for you guys, but we'll catch you at our next live production.